Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This episode of the Golden Fleas channel is going to take a look at the GoDark Bags Crossbody bag. Before we jump into this, full disclosure, this was sent to me from them to do a review. It'll be, an objective review. So full transparency there before we jump into this. But really good people, great customer service. I've had great conversations with them via email, just kind of talking about the product, getting some ideas for it. They sent me a bunch of their information on their product and kind of preparation for me to kind of do this walkthrough. So, let's jump into it and take a quick look at what they have, and we'll throw it on body so you can see what it looks like. If you're familiar with the channel, it's kind of random. We got stuff all over the place that I'm interested in. I've been on a kick with Faraday devices, with the current climate of privacy. Faraday bags can be looked at in a negative manner. There's been, different things in the news about Faraday being associated with, you have something to hide, etc. Well, no. It's actually great for privacy. It's great if you have certain electronics that you don't want to have damaged from electrical pulse, whether it's an EMP or something like that you don't want damaged, sensitive electronics that you don't want damaged. So there's a lot of use cases for Faraday cases, bags, pouches, etc. out there for a normal user. And again, a big one is privacy. We all know that phones are tracking our every whereabouts, advertising to us, anything that they hear or see, and when you think it's off, it's really on and listening still, right? So the only way to get it off is to separate the battery and power from it, and phones ain't made that way anymore to separate those. So it's an option for you if you're concerned about that and you don't want to have, every single aspect of your life tracked by some other organization, and you are the product, right? Data is the new gold moving forward, for the next who knows how long. Data is the new gold. So before we take a look at this, let's just run down through some facts about GoDark bags in general, and then some details on this crossbody. All of their bags block incoming and outgoing RF signals between 200 megahertz and 400 gigahertz, including 5G, GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. So that really kind of covers the gamut for most consumer devices. All their bags are made with multiple layers of their GoDark RF shielding fabric. Meets the normal IEEE, let me read here from my list, 299-2006 standards. So it's from 1 to 40 gigahertz. Their RF shielding fabric has also passed some MIL standards, right? So it's a MIL standard 188, 125-2. And that test is for high altitude EMP shielding. So, if a nuke was exploded over the United States, let's say at a high altitude, you have some EMP shielding of sensitive electronics from their fabric. So it's really cool to see that they've added those details to their fabric. They also have had third-party testing, independent testing from Keystone Compliance to make sure that they meet those standards. So always nice to see that somebody isn't just saying they're doing these things, but to have a third party test and verify the compliance to those standards. So I like that. I think that's great. All of their bags are made up of 6 layers. Typically, there's a few exceptions there. So the outer layer is a 600D ply with a PU face, TPU backing, and RF welded seams. So this bag doesn't have RF welded seams. Again, this is a crossbody. The inside of it has the actual Faraday bag inside. That's a feature of this crossbody. But their normal bags are RF welded seams. So really nice, clean profile of the bag themselves. Followed by that outer layer are the 3 layers of their GoDark RF shielding. So they do use 3 layers, which again, depending on what company you look at, they may only use 2 layers. And if you're familiar with a lot of the shielding technology, they're fine fibers that are weaved of metallic, right? So it's copper and a couple of other different metals that they use typically throughout the industry. With wear and tear, those things can in and out, taking things in and out, folding, etc. You can wear down those layers. So having 3 layers gives you that additional coverage and protection from any breakdown over time and extended use. That's followed by a foam layer. And then they also, what's nice about their bags is they do an inner, like nice, like soft, like felt fleece type of liner on the inside. That's nice if you have your electronics in there. Not only does it help protect, you know, your electronics as you drop them in there, if they're, you know, sensitive in nature, they have screens, etc. But it also helps protect that RF layer from being affected from the wear and tear and rubbing against those devices. So that's kind of their structure and their sandwich of materials of how they do things. The only bags that they have that don't have that foam padding layer are their dry bags. So let's look at this before we do kind of an overview from the top down. This is the GoDark Faraday Crossbody bag. MSRP for this is $110. The overall bag dimensions are 11 inches wide, 7.5 inches in height, and then 1.8 inches in depth, and that's without anything loaded out. The inner Faraday pocket, when we get to that point showing you, that is 7.5 inches by 5 inches, a good amount to fit like your normal size phones, and we'll kind of show that. So let's get a top-down view and then take a look at what we have going on here. Then we'll do an on-body and wrap it all up. This is going a little long so far. Okay, so here you have it. The bag has two main compartments. So you have a front compartment here. Again, take a look at zipper pulls. They're nice. They have heat shrink wrapping over the actual knots and the zipper pulls, which is nice. So good pulling. Real basic front pocket. So not a lot of organization. Take a look in the main compartment, see what that looks like. Again, pull tabs two ways on both of the pockets that have the nice heat shrunk. Get a little bit of jingle jangle. I know not everyone's a fan of that, but get a little bit of that. The zippers pull really nice. In the main compartment, you do have a retainer clip, so you can clip your keys to it or anything else important that you like to have. I love to see that, so that's a great feature. Orange cord so you can see it easily. And then in the front portion of the main pocket, you have a bunch of elastic loops. So no inner pockets for organization, but you do have elastic loops. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 elastic loops to put things in to do some level of organization. There's two smaller ones here, which looks like they'll fit, you know, a pen or a Sharpie or whatever you want to put in there. But not a lot of organization in here. This is the main Faraday bag that's on the inside. And on the back side of that Faraday bag, you do have a pull tab here, it looks like, that goes into a smaller pocket down in the bottom here, if you can see this, that is an RFID blocker. So if you have credit cards that you want to put in here, or anything that you want to have blocked from RFID, this pocket in here, which I didn't even know, that's a nice extra added feature, RFID pocket in here that's separate from the Faraday bag that you can drop down in there, your little pull tab to pull them up, pop them up and get them out easier so you're not fishing in there. So that's a nice feature there that comes with that also. The inner material is nice. It's a soft material. You can see in here we do have some additional organization and separation. So the front side you have those elastic loops, and then on the inside you have, on the back side of the Faraday inner bag, you have some additional kind of organization back here. Looks like two pockets back here, and then an inner RFID pocket on that, and then, you know, the main kind of dump pouch pocket there. So the bag this size, that's not bad organization. I like that little RFID pocket. And then this front, again, is just a wide open kind of dump pouch for you. So that's great. Let's take a look. The inner portion, the Faraday bag itself inside the crossbody is really what we're here for. So it is a Velcro closure. So it looks like it's a kind of one-time rollover, 2 rollovers to get the Velcro. Then you see the inner liner here. You've got that nice felt inside, and you can see where the liner is itself, so triple line. So 2 foldovers and Velcro, and we're about to test that to make sure that there's no signals emitting in a very non-scientific way to show you that it does block Bluetooth signal, at least in our, you know, normal consumer tests here. So okay, so this is how we're going to do this non-scientific test of the Faraday blocking abilities. Sonos Move. You can take a look at that old review video on that, but we're going to connect to that so you know that I'm connected. I got an old iPhone 7 that I'm going to connect via Bluetooth. You'll hear it connect here in a second. Boom, connected. What I am going to do is play some non-copyrighted music. We're going to see if it turns on or off with the Faraday case. So I'm going to play. You're going to be able to hear it. Again, non-copyrighted music. Open her up, put her in there, and if it turns off once I close this up, then we know we're blocking the signal. And that's how we're gonna do all these tests. Before I even rolled after the first one, it turned off and you heard a disconnect. You can hear it playing on its own inside here now, which does not have a connection. So let's pull it out and connect it back to it. So, looks like it works. We're gonna test off. Okay, so we're gonna throw a couple things in here and then throw it on real quick. So we'll throw in the Ray-Bans in the main compartment. We'll throw a pen in there. And then in the front, like kind of dump pouch, if I wasn't going to be using the Faraday, I'll just throw in this iPhone 7. Now, the main Faraday bag pouch, easily, it goes the length of the bag practically, right? Just a little bit on the inside where it doesn't, but almost the length of the bag. So plenty of room for multiple phones or devices to put in there, especially if you have like an iPhone Pro Max or whatever the largest size is, it's gonna fit in there. So for comparison, all right, we threw a few things in there. The Alpaca Bravo Mini Sling, I believe it is. I did a review on that. For comparison in size, they're very close, right? Very close. The GoDark Crossbody is slightly smaller than the Alpaca Sling. So let's put it on real quick. One thing to note is the attachment, the clip here to take it on and off is on the side instead of in the middle. This Alpaca has it in the middle. I hate that because then I have straps flapping around on both sides potentially, right? And I have this attachment in the middle. I'd much rather have it on the end and be able to adjust. They have a nice sliding metal D-ring type of device here for it. It's a nice material. It's like a seatbelt material, which you know that slides very smoothly on there. The buckle is plastic, feels plastic. This end is plastic. This end feels like it's metal, which it is. I think it is metal. That's kind of a nice surprise. So plastic, and this feels like it's metal. So like that's a quality, that's a nice touch there. Nice design touch that they have. So let me show you what it looks like on body. 6'2", depending on how many tacos I've eaten, 195 pounds. It rides nicely. The clip again is here. Here's the side profile. So sits nice and tight. It's not overly large. You can throw kind of your items in there. You can throw it on your back if you want to. I usually carry like this. So that's it. Let me roll this in here. We'll leave it on for a second. Sit in front of this. That's the GoDark Crossbody, GoDark Bags Crossbody, their Faraday Crossbody bag. Does exactly what you want it to do. Premium materials, really nice touches, design touches, and I think you're gonna like it. So if you have any questions, go ahead, shoot me a comment, good, bad, or ugly. I try to answer whatever comments and questions that are out there. More than happy to try to answer some questions. So hopefully this helped you out if you're looking at this bag. Also, of note, I did see that GovX has the GoDark bags on their site. So if you are a first responder or veteran, you have a GovX account, you can get a discount on these bags also. So something cool, you know, maybe I would imagine at some point, maybe they'll be on some other sites, but check them out. Let me know if you have questions. Take care.